guys? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season 14, episode 14. Not much happened other than Kenya being late all the time and Ross letting the people know, don't be disrespecting my wife. Okay, you're not going to disrespect my wife. But let's get into it. So the episode opens up, and it is the day after the whole fight that happened between Marlo and Kandi. And one thing I'll give Kandi, sis is a businesswoman, because if you don't know, I'm gonna let you know. You can now go buy I'm Worldwide or like Bitch I'm Worldwide shirts off of her website, and y'all know I always got a screenshot to show you what the merchandise looks like. So if you want to get them shirts, go get it. You can never hate that lady is about her business and about her coin. Okay, do what you do. That's how you move. You know what I mean? So she's in the bathroom and they're all getting ready because Sonya has a whole bunch of things planned for everyone to do that day. So she's in the bathroom getting ready. She's talking to Ty, basically telling Ty that, like, you know, I ain't really want to go there with Marlo, but, like, she went there with me, so I took it there. And I'm still of the belief that Kandi butted into a conversation that didn't have nothing to do with her. I do understand she was looking at the situation like, Marlo, how can you speak on this when you actually are doing what you're accusing Ralph of doing? But the conversation didn't have nothing to do with Kandi, so Kandi stepped in it. Y'all can't change my mind on that. Nobody was talking to Kandi. It is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. So everyone's getting ready. We see, like I said, Sonya has told everyone, like, they need to be downstairs at 8 o'clock because that's the time the bus leaves to go on their, like, excursions. So Mayetta gets there. Mayetta and her husband get there like at 8:05. I think the only person that was on time was Sheree. We had Ralph and Drew get there like at 8:15. I think Kandi and Todd were next, and then Marlo was like 20 minutes late and got there like at 8:20. They're all waiting on the bus. The only person that's missing is Kenya. Kenya being lackadaisical, looking out at the views, opening up her blinds as she knows everybody's waiting on her. That would piss me off. It's funny because I'm not as good at being on time as I used to be when I was younger. I used to really be on time. But now as I've gotten older, I don't know why I move slow now. But if it's something that someone has planned and we have to be there at a certain time to like leave to go to a destination, more than likely I come on time. Same with like the airport and stuff. Like if I got a flight at like 12:15, I'm leaving my house like around like 9 because I'm worried that there might be traffic or they might switch up my terminal and I need time to like to the next terminal. I've had that happen to me. Side note, I came the Atlanta airport. I was like, it was a connecting flight, y'all, a connecting flight in Atlanta, trying to get back to where I was staying at the time, which was Kentucky. Y'all, I got there. They told me my gate was like terminal like C or something. So mind you, I'm at like F. So I'm like, I'm going, get there. Y'all, they was like, oh, we switched it to D. I was like, ain't this about a, for real? But that's not why we here. So everybody's waiting on the bus. Sonya has called Kenya like 2 or 3 times. Kenya is like, oh, I'm going to try to make it. But then eventually Kenya doesn't make it because Sonya texts her and she's like, go on and do what y'all got to do. So they left her. They ended up going, I think, to the ice cream parlor first. This really nice ice cream parlor, which is like one of the like fanciest ones, I guess, in Jamaica. We found out that Sonya's parents, what's it called, got married there. But before that, we actually met one of Sonya's like neighbors that she grew up with. I can't remember her name, but they called her Auntie something. And Sonya said, like in Jamaica, everyone kind of calls everybody Auntie or Uncle. Like that's just the vibe down there. And it was just a cute moment to see where she lived. To see her embraced by her community, people yelling out her name when they see her, waving at her and stuff. So it was a nice vibe, and she was just happy and excited to show them, like, yo, this is where I grew up. This is where I was at. You know, this is me. You know, so I thought it was cute. So after they went to her old neighborhood, that's when they went to the ice cream parlor. and everyone's getting ice cream. Kenya arrives, but she's like 2 hours late. So Sonya is like perturbed by it. We see Sheree and Marlo having a conversation on the side, and then we see Kandi and Mayetta having a conversation. Sheree asks Marlo, like, hey, how are you? Like, girl, last night was crazy. I didn't think it was gonna get there. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I agree with Marlo. Kandi, she wasn't talking to Kandi. So there was no need for Kandi to be in the conversation. I do think Marlo went too far by putting Todd in it, because if your argument was with Kandi, there was no need for you to disrespect Todd. But Kandi stepped her foot in it. And then Kandi even said, because Mayetta said, girl, like, what happened? And Kandi was just like, I got tired of hearing Marlo be a hypocrite. And I'm like, that's okay, but you still didn't need to speak up. And then she said, it took a left turn. Candy's like, it took a left turn when she disrespected my husband. Girl, you let everybody disrespect Todd. That's the part that doesn't make sense to me, when everyone's like, oh, Marlo made up lies. She didn't make up lies. I watched Old Lady Gang, Aunt Bertha, Aunt Nora, your damn mama disrespected him. The co-worker, like, everybody disrespects Todd. Everybody does. And you're mad because Marlo did it? Was it wrong of Marlo? 100%. 100%. 100%. She should not have crossed that boundary. But we're not going to act like you haven't opened up the doors, or Kandi hasn't opened up the doors for people to constantly disrespect Todd. Everybody does it. Reviewers of this show disrespect Todd. People on Twitter disrespect Todd. They even call that man Mr. Burgess. Like, they always disrespect Todd. I just was like, girl, now you mad because Marlo disrespected your man? Where was all that energy for your mama? Like, where was that at? But like I said, Marlo crossed the line, but I still think Kandi, she didn't have no right to just step her foot in it. It wasn't needed. It really wasn't. But I also feel like Kandi is just tired of Marlo. And she's just tired. When you're tired, you're tired. It is what it is at this point. So we see Kenya come. Like I said, she's 2 hours late. Kenya comes and they sit down. Sonya's like, Kenya, can we talk for a minute? And they sit down and talk. I'm going to have to give it to Sonya, because the thing is like, you know, I'm hosting this trip. If the roles were reversed and somebody was disrespecting Kenya's time, Kenya would have an issue. Like, we're not going to play this game like Kenya wouldn't be bothered, or she wouldn't be frustrated, or angry at the fact that somebody was disrespecting her time. And to find out that it was like not this one time, it was multiple times. Like, you showed up an hour late to dinner, now you're showing up 2 hours late to these events. It's like, at this point, like, my mindset would be like, do you even want to be here? And I'm not even gonna lie, I would start to take things personal. Like, is you trying, like, what you trying to do? Like, do you, like, that's really what my energy would be like. Do you really want to be here or not? But I do feel for Kenya. She says that, you know, basically, and that's the thing. I think Brooklyn is actually in Jamaica, and that might be the reason why she's always late, but we just don't know. Because I'm like, what's your real reason for being late? Because so far, it's not like Kenya has on ultra glam outfits. She's not saying she looks bad or anything, but it's like she's wearing regular vacation wear. A little bit of foundation, a little mascara, a nice little pullover outfit, or a nice little cut outside sundress. She's not doing the utmost, so it's like, it can't be glam. And you know, she takes Brooklyn everywhere she goes. So I do think Brooklyn is there, because she did say on the last episode that she was going to spend extra time in Jamaica for her birthday. So I feel like her daughter is there, because I don't think Kenya would be that far away from Brooklyn, that long. But I'm like, if that's the case, we also know Kenya always brings a nanny. So I'm like, you need to figure that out, because at the end of the day, you're disrespecting other people's time. Like, yeah, it sucks that, like, your daughter doesn't want to talk to her father, but at this point, you have to allow Mark to be an active parent in your child's life. And if Brooklyn, at the age that she's at now, is like, I don't want to talk to that man, and I think the girl is no more than like 3. Didn't she have like a 3 or 4-year-old birthday? And if at that age she can tell that she don't want to be bothered with her daddy, then don't let her be bothered with her daddy. Like, at this point, Mark has to show up. If he doesn't want to show up, then this is the energy that he's going to get from his child, and it's not her fault, because she's a child. Like, you're her daddy. Figure it out, old man, because you decided to have a baby with Kenya and do this, okay? Figure it out, Mark. Figure it out. But I do agree with Sonya when she's like, you can't keep using Mark and your situation with your divorce as a reason as to why you are acting a certain way. Like, everybody has issues. Everyone has things they're going through. That doesn't give you a pass to be a dick to somebody. Just like with Marlo. Marlo being a foster kid and going through the trauma she has isn't a pass for her to be a total bitch to everybody and be nasty and messy and then wonder why people don't want to be around her. Life don't work that way. It just don't. And some people will accept it, others won't, and they'll let you know off rip real quick. I don't want that energy from you. And that's what Kandi is doing to Marlo. I don't want that energy with you. And they don't have to have that energy with Marlo. But on to the racetracks. So we're at the track, and there was a bet placed yesterday to see who was the best runner in the group besides Sonya between Drew and Marlo. They said they were going to race against each other because Drew was talking about she's an Olympian or she would set an Olympic record, some shit. My thing about it is, as much as Drew likes to rag on Sonya for constantly talking about she's an Olympian, you did that last season, constantly talking about you're an actor. Both of these things are your careers. Like, you're an actor, she's a professional athlete. Y'all are going to constantly talk about things that, like, you feel bolstered your career as well as something that you're accomplished, like, that you accomplished. So, Drew feeling some type of way, I was just like, girl, shut up. Because you did that all last season. So, shut up. So, so they're at the track. I don't know why, but Marlo was running in her Balenciaga sport bra and her panties. Sonya gave Drew like an actual official Olympian like track leotard to run in. The whole who won was weird because I thought Marlo won based off the picture because her legs seemed to be over, or her knees seemed to be over the line that they were using as like, hey, you won. But they were like, Drew won. But as Drew's like running around the track, like, doing a victory dance, unfortunately her I think she said her ankle gave out. And I forgot that Drew had on a boot last season. And she was like, yeah, I shouldn't have did all of that. And I was like, damn, like, you shouldn't have. Because I'm like, normally when you get those type of like orthopedic injuries, it normally takes at least like a good 2 years, especially like after going through like physical therapy, for your feet to be like, for that area to be like completely healed. And I don't even think it's been like a year for Drew, or maybe it's been a year, but I was just like, dang. So I felt bad. We end up seeing Olivia, what's the lady's name? Because I took a picture. Olivia Babsy Gerardin or Griner. She's the Jamaican minister of sports. She came. It was funny when Marlo said, ooh, let me go put some clothes on. Because like I said, she was running in sports bra and some panties. So she put on clothes. She was like, she was really nice to Drew, and she basically was like, do you need any help? Like, we'll get you to the best doctor. And they did. And that's when we find out that unfortunately Drew tore her tendon again, which I was like, dang, that sucks to be on a trip and you get hurt like that. I just have a friend who came back from her honeymoon and she got sunburn. I'm like, sucks. So we then see everybody's like, they're winding down for the day. Sonya lets them know on the bus ride back home that, hey, me and Ross are filming our commercials for iFit tomorrow. And if you guys are really interested in like being a part of it, and she directed it towards like Kenya and Sheree because they said they were interested. They were like, hey, you can be like, you have to be there be downstairs at 9:30 a.m. sharp, because that's when the bus will be there. And they're like, okay, cool, whatever. So it's the next day. We see Ross and Sonya get up at like 7 a.m. in the morning and I guess depart to go to where they're filming their iFit commercial. We then see, what's his name? Oh, we then see like Marlo and her like friend her florist she brung on the trip. They're in the shuttle or the charter bus to go to like where Sonya and them is. And they got on the bus and they dipped out. Whereas Sheree was on the beach at 9:30, and then Kenya, I don't know what was Kenya was doing the night, but the minutes before, but she called and she was like, "Hey, I think she called the front desk and she was like, "Hey, like, did the bus leave?" Da 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 da. And the guy at the front desk, or the receptionist at the front desk, was like, "Oh, the bus just departed 20 minutes ago." So my thing is, like, if y'all knew y'all had to be downstairs at 9:30, and this was like dealing with Sonya's, like, it was a work thing, why would you not be downstairs at 9:30? And like some people have said, and I know people find Sonya annoying and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, this is work. Real Housewives of Atlanta is work, but it's like a limbo kind of work. But like work where you sign like actual contracts where you're supposed to do a service, I'm not playing with that bag. iFit costs way more than Bravo. Like, let's not play games. Like, people are out here still using iFit stuff and things of that nature. So I'm just looking at I'm looking at Sheree and Kenya. Like, if it was that important to you, you would have took a taxi the same way you took a taxi to get to the ice cream parlor where you were 2 hours late, Kenya. So let's not play these games. Because Kenya was really mad. Sheree was like, "Oh my God, I feel like she disinvited us." And I'm like, no, y'all just weren't on time. Like, if y'all not on time, if you're not on time, you're not on time. Like, I'm not playing with my money. Like, this is an actual, like, factual job. Like, y'all only film Real Housewives of Atlanta for 6 months. She could probably do iFit year round. I'm not playing with my money. If you didn't want to be there on time, then you not there on time. Your fault. Your fault. So it was cute. The commercial was cute. Marlo messed up the commercial when they got it completely right. But I probably would have did something like Marlo did, like just excited for my friends. But it was cute. We then see Drew and Kandi like running lines because I guess Kandi has an audition. She taught me something new because I'm not really into acting, but I forgot the name of it, but she was explaining how you get into character. And I will say this, hearing Drew break down things about how to get into character, I was impressed. I'm not even gonna lie. Y'all know I don't see it for Drew. But hearing her be like, have you did the 5 senses test? Like, what does she look like? What does your character look like? How do they talk? How do they sound? Da, da, da. I was like, okay, Drew, let us know your craft, girl. Let us know your craft. So I didn't even have an issue with it. I did kind of think it was kind of rude of Kandi to be like, annoyed that Drew was explaining that, but I'm like, Kandi, that would probably be you if you were explaining music to somebody. Like, she's passionate about it, just like you're passionate about the things that you do. So I'm like, girl, don't do that. Don't do that. So in that conversation, they talk about Sonya and how they feel like Sonya is being, like, I guess, brainwashed by Marlo. And I can kind of see that. Well, no, I can't. I just feel like Sonya likes Marlo, so she's cool with kicking it with Marlo, but she is kind of straddling the fence between both groups in a way. But like, I think there's gonna come a time where she's gonna have to pick a side because it's definitely looking like there's two groups. You got Sonya, Marlo, and Sheree, and then you got Kandi, Kenya, and Drew. It's definitely giving that vibe, and I don't like it only because I'm like, there's going to have to be somebody or two people in the middle that break it up or force the group to come back together. And I don't think we have that right now. And I don't think Mayetta would be that because Mayetta is friends with Kandi. Like, that's her actual friend. But it was cute. They were reading lines. So then it's the dinner. It's the nighttime and it's dinner time. And so we see Ross and Sonya are like walking to, like, I guess where the table is to like have dinner. We then see Marlo and Sheree come up, and Sheree was like, why didn't you invite me? Or why didn't you ask for, like, why didn't you like wait for me? And Sonya was like, I told y'all to be down there at 9:30. I didn't have my phone. Although I kind of called BS on that. Because first Sonya said she couldn't find her phone. Then she said her phone is broken. I just think Sonya was like, I'm not dealing with y'all while I'm on set working. And like a lot of people I've seen who are in the entertainment industry, they say normally your phone is like off or it's on silent mode when you're working. And it doesn't look like she had time to do all of that. For them to be like, oh, you could have called us during your break. I'm not doing that. Y'all aren't that important to me. That would have been my energy. That just would have been my energy. So Sonya was like, don't do that as they're walking, because she's like, I told y'all to be here at a certain time. Y'all weren't here at a certain time. It is what it is. But I did not uninvite you. I just thought y'all went on to the boat ride because they did go on a boat ride. It looked like a good time. Kenya was having a good time. Everybody was having a good day, eating food and getting drunk and just having fun. We got more information about Sheree doing a fashion presentation, not a fashion show, because she was like the pressure. But she said she gonna show us what she got. So they end up going to have dinner at a plantation. Never. I'm sorry. I'm not going to no plantation where my ancestors were beaten, assaulted, and God knows what after that. Like, I'm not eating spirits. All them negative spirits in there. I don't give a damn if it's a museum. I'm not eating at no plantation. That's why I be looking at y'all when y'all be getting married at them plantations. That's why I say I hope the ancestors, your whole well, all up. Cause who are y'all getting married at internment camps? Are we doing that? Are we getting married at gas chambers? Are we doing that? No, we're not doing that. So why are we getting married at plantations where people were? You know what? I'm not gonna say nothing. But they have dinner at this plantation. That's now called Rosenhall, which is now a museum and a restaurant. So they're at the restaurant. We get Ralph doing an excerpt from his book. Y'all, I think I got bamboozled by Ralph last episode, but a lot of people were saying that they feel like Ralph doesn't want to adopt Josiah because he's trying to make his exit plan. Because you do know if he does adopt Josiah and he gets a divorce from Drew, he would have to pay child support on Josiah. That's what everyone was saying. And I thought about it and I was like, I think Ralph is shifty as it is. So I could see Ralph doing that. And when he was reading the excerpt, it was cute, but then he had to ruin it by talking in the confessional when he was like, I thought I had all the answers as a step parent. How, when you never had kids, stupid? How you didn't even know how to be a father because you never had kids before. Even people who have active parents in their lives don't know how to be good parents. It's like trial and error. So for you to have such a big ego where you just think off rip you gonna know what you doing, especially being a stepfather at that, it just turned me off. I can't do Ralph's pita-headed ass. I can't. But he read his excerpt. Everybody's feeling the feels. Drew says she never heard him talk about Josiah in this way. And I'm like, red flag. Why hasn't he talked about your son this way? What's up with that, man? What's up with that? As they're talking about, as he's reading his book or like there something happened where they were talking. You got Sheree and Kenya having a side conversation where Sheree is like, I had a conversation with her and she said that we weren't downstairs at that time. And she said, Kenya is like, that's a lie. And so they start to talk about what happened. So Kenya's like, Sonya, you're saying we weren't downstairs, but we were downstairs. And she was like, we called you all day and you didn't answer. And I'm looking at Kenya like, ma'am, you would be Sonya if this is my thing. This is what I'm not understanding. If it was that important to you, you could have driven there like you did to the ice cream parlor. Same with Sheree, same with Kenya. If you really wanted to be a part of it. But for y'all to be that angry at her was kind of stupid because I'm just like, it's her job. This is a job situation. Like, this is work. This is not some little fake little reality TV cooked up like job. This is something that she signed contracts for. So she was on time. You weren't, so you got left. It is what it is. You had a good time on the boat shaking your ass and eating jerk chicken. So be quiet. This whole conversation is annoying me because y'all been disrespecting this lady's time since y'all been in Jamaica. So now you mad because it was something you really wanted to do? Bye. Then Ross gets upset, stands up and is like, hey, you not gonna be disrespecting my wife. Now, Ralph, I'm gonna have to tell you this, sir. Y'all on reality TV, the ladies are gonna fight. You sit down, as cute as you are, sit down and be quiet. Unless a man was yelling at her, there was no need for you to like interject in that way. And I get it. And that's the other thing. Marlo was like in the conversation, like sticking up for Sonya. So it wasn't like everyone was ganging up on Sonya. It was 2 against 2. It'd be different if it was like the whole table coming at her. But like there was no need for him to stand up and do all of that, in my opinion. I get you want, you don't want your wife to be disrespected or played with or anything like that. But it wasn't that serious for him to stand up and be like, hey, you're not gonna be disrespecting my wife. I get it. But you're on reality TV and your wife is gonna get disrespected accordingly. Everybody is. That's just the game of the show. Don't sign up for Real Housewives if you're not ready for people to get disrespected. So Ross is gonna have to learn either he gonna be a Peter Thomas and get in the mess with the girls, or who's a calm husband that don't be getting into things. You know what? I can't think of like a reality husband. I was gonna say who or a Greg, because Greg really didn't get, or a Greg Leaks, because Greg didn't get into it unless he was brought into it, or unless they was really getting at Nene and then he was gonna get it. But like it was like all of them at Nene. But at this point it was 2 against 2. Marlo and Sonya versus Sheree and Kenya. There was just no need for him to be like, y'all not gonna disrespect my wife, when your wife really wasn't being disrespected. The ladies had grievances, and I think Sonya was kind of holding her own before he jumped in. But it is what it is at this point. But that's it, y'all. That's how the episode ended, and they walked away from the table. But yeah, that's it. So remember to be bravely authentic and drop down in them comments below. Deuces.